already know what it is. It's Barbershop Conversations. Hit the subscribe and the like button today.
Barbershop Conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So I'm going to do my reaction video to Joe Mixon, the football player from Oklahoma who hit that white woman. And I'm going to call her a white woman because to the rest of America, they looking at her like, I can't believe that big, strong black football player hit that little white woman. And as I told you guys before, I believe it was the Ray Rice video or somebody else's video, I will never ever condone a man hitting a woman. And I can only speak for myself. I mean, I have a hard time hitting a man. I'm such a pacifist, such a pacifist, you know what I mean? And so I find every way, every possible way I can to get out of solving a problem with my fist. And all my day one subscribers know that I'm in the gym, well, the weight gym too, and the boxing gym, minimum of twice a week. You know what I mean? I just did some rounds today. And I mean, to a professional, I'm a novice, but to the rest of America, I mean, I'm above average in terms of fighting. And wouldn't I wouldn't raise my fist to a man, not unless it's self-defense or it's my last defense. But even if I had to, I would raise my fist in hopes of an escape route because you're not going to catch me. I'm still in pretty good shape. So, but let's talk about the situation that we see on this tape. Now, as I told you guys, I don't believe in violence at all in terms of hitting a woman. If you got to restrain a woman, restrain a woman. If you got to squeeze her to slow her down, squeeze her to slow her down. But hitting a woman, I definitely don't condone that. And when I use this injunction, but it's not that I am condoning it. I'm using the word but in terms of letter of the law. Now, if you look at this, I think Ray Rice was guilty as sin. I genuinely believe he deserved jail time for that shit. No way should a man hit a woman that fucking hard. And it's your wife. Now, if we go tit for tat, it makes sense. Now, since we have the black guy the white kid from Stanford who got off with 6 months, 3 months in jail, 3 months probation, and the dad wrote a letter saying it was just severe. The kid was only 20 years old. He don't deserve this 20 minutes from 20 years of his life, etc., etc., etc. Now, I know it's a different state, so it's different statutations, and it's a completely different crime. I'm not gonna make this debate which one is worse. But I will say this. He attempted to restrain himself, and his action was a reaction. And at the end of the day, because it's an altercation, you have no idea what can become of that altercation. And what I mean by that, does she have a knife? Does she have a gun? Who hit who first? The first time he tried as hard as he could to restrain himself, and the second time she grabbed his neck and he just responded. Now, I will say this: I believe they're both young adults, 19 to 20, 21 years old. So, with that being said, there's some leniency that needs to happen on both sides, not just on his side. Now, in the court of law, he should be found not guilty. In the court of public opinion, he's a bitch for hitting a woman, right? But in that, it's not, I'm not saying but in agreement. I'm saying but in a letter of the law. He responded to a threat, right? And the threat was a woman choking him. And he's 19. I think this was in 2014, so I would assume he's a freshman that year or something like that. So, but at the end of the day, both parties lose. I'm not sure how well he was going to do in the draft. I'm not sure if he's a senior or an eligible junior to go to the NFL. I haven't gone that far because if you make this a conversation about um, her trying to ruin, it's coming out now and trying to ruin his draft stock, that's a completely different conversation than the quote unquote crime that took place. So, so I'll just say this: in a court of law, he should be found not guilty. In my neighborhood where I grew up, he would be considered a bitch. You know what I'm saying? And because he I don't know if he knew her. It looked like he was coming to get something, or he knew that they were going to be there. Maybe it was his ex-girlfriend. I don't know the details of it. All I know is this video. I haven't looked any further. I will eventually, but I haven't looked any further in terms of the details of this case. And and naturally I'm offended that hurt, not offended, hurt that the kid is black, you know, young. I don't know if he was NFL potential, but you don't want to be plastered all over the news for doing something this egregious. You know, I've never hit a woman in my life, so I don't even know that side of the coin. But in the court of law, he should be found not guilty. It's self-defense because she knew she was putting her hand at the end, for real. She knew she was putting her hands around, it looked like they knew each other, around a black male athlete who happens to play football for Oklahoma. She knew she was putting her hands around his neck. I've and you got to react. And in the court of law, he 100% should be found not guilty. I don't know if there's a law in place for a man hitting a woman. I have no idea. But he doesn't know that. And moving forward, I suggest all men, listen, guys, and I know there are some guys out there that say, if you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. You can't win hitting a woman. There's no way you can win. There's no way a man can win. You know how uh, hitting a woman is bad? Because there's a place called prison, aka hell on earth, that I heard. I've only spent one night in jail ever in my life for something stupid that we did in college. It was a beer run in college. So I don't know too much about that. But and the funny thing is I don't even drink. I was just the guy that had the car. I was the only one with my friends that had a car in college, and we got caught. And so no big deal. But I will say this. If the people who are doing 6 months in jail, 3 months in jail to life in prison will kick your ass for rape, I believe it's rape, molesting a child, and hitting a woman. They beat your ass in jail. So if it's not cool in jail where hell resides, why should it be cool in a free world? But leave your comments below. This is a great discussion that we can have. He definitely should be found not guilty because I don't know if there's a law or a subsidy of the law that states if a man hits a woman, that's a misdemeanor. She hit him twice, which in turn makes her a threat. Just like that cop got off for shooting a guy in the back. He was a threat. Oh man. Anyways, man, this is just this is well, we thought the Walter Scott case was clear cut. This is a clear cut case of self-defense. Now, when he knocked her out, I cringed just like every other person that watched this video. But it's nothing you can do. I don't condone a man hitting a woman, and I never will. I don't shit. I don't even. And the funny thing is, I cover boxing, and I know that's the first question that comes to your mind, right? But you know, the funny thing about life is, you always admire things that you or don't do, or can't do. So, and I guess that's why I love boxing so much. Because I consider myself a pacifist. I I don't believe violence solves the problem. I believe in fighting for what you believe in. And you guys know my stance on a whole lot of issues. And I am unwavering on them. I don't bend. I don't bend for a white man. I don't bend for a white woman. I don't seek approval from anyone. Well, excuse me. I take that back. Don't seek approval from anyone. That would be a lie. But in terms of seeking approval outside of my needs, no, I don't. When I cover boxing, I don't. You guys know by the questions that I ask. I'm very daring. And but that's not, get back on topic though. I hope this ends well. I hope that if he's capable of going to the NFL, I hope that he gets drafted. I hope no civil suit comes about. Because at the end of the day, it's self-defense. However, he did hit a woman. And that is some weak shit on any level. I remember a few years back, a friend of mine who had every right to hit a woman, and he did. And I basically got in his face. But I yelled at him. I basically called him a bitch. He knows my stance on violence, so it didn't get to that point. But I had to let him know what he did was wrong. It's similar to, I speak of this group sometimes in my videos. I have an accountability group. I'm not sure if you'd have to be down with me for a long time to remember me talking about my accountability group. But basically, it's my friends from college. It's 7 of us total. And we send texts fairly often, exceptionally often, minimum every day. Someone sends a text, something's going on with the kids and the family. But we made a pact. And how many of us are black? All of us are black except one. We have one white kid, but he's basically one of us, right? But he's the most cracker white guy you ever want to know, and I love him dearly. And we vowed to be great fathers. Half of us grew up without fathers. Yep, half had fathers, half didn't have. No, 2 of us didn't have fathers. 4 of us had fathers. So we vowed to be fathers, and by any means necessary. And that's the pact that we made. And like I said, 5 of us are black, 1 of us are white, and that's the pact we made. And men must hold men accountable at the end of the day. No woman can hold a man accountable like a man can hold a man accountable. So I know what he did is not against the law. But there's a guy on his team that needs to tell him, yo, nigga, you don't go around hitting women like that. I don't care who you are, what you do, or what she did to you. You restrain her and you get the hell out of there. And that's it. So, and getting back to my accountability team, we definitely hold each other accountable. It's a special group of us. We got together Labor Day this year and just hung out, had a great time. We barbecued, watched the USC Alabama game together. Man, that Saturday we had a spectacular time. Man, I invited all my college teammates over. It was about 20 of us, and we just hung out and had a wonderful time, man. Oh, it was so special. I mean, when I say it was special, it was special. But so that's my stance. That's my take on this. I believe him to be a bitch, and he's not guilty. That's it. Closed case. He's a bitch, and he's not guilty. So, anyways, barbershop conversations. Feel free to hit the subscribe button, and I know it's about this issue, but men, let's hold each other accountable. Let's become better at this. Because you know the funny thing is, the truth, the real truth, when another man looks at another man and tells him he's wrong, yeah, there may be some anger, resentment, animosity, frustration, but men respect men at the end of the day. It may even go to a punch. He may even want to flex on you. But a man knows when a man is wrong, and he respects the man on the other side of that mountain of calmness, understanding, respect. He will understand that that man held him accountable for the betterment of him. And when we see stuff like this, no, he's not right. No, excuse me. No, he's not wrong. But he hit a woman. And that's not acceptable. That's not unless you're in the square of the ring. You know what I mean? Not unless you're fighting China from WWE. But anyways, man, don't want to make light of the subject. But anyways, Barbershop Conversations. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. He's not guilty and he's a bitch. Not but he's a bitch. So he gets both. No man should hit a woman. Restrain her? Yes, but don't hit her. Barbershop Conversations. This video went longer than I thought it was going to be. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.
Mine is at Miss Amanda Paris.
Mine is PB_Miranda.
Mine's ANNELISGJR. Anna Leach. No one can spell it right. JR.
Mine is Ashley to me.
And on the count of, okay, now y'all gotta do this together, okay? Okay. Y'all have to say thanks for watching Barbershop Conversations, okay?
Wait, Barbershop Conversations.
Yep.
Okay.
Get it tighter, get it tighter.
Okay, that's what she said.
Thanks for watching Barbershop Conversations.
Thank you guys.